Alright, what's up YouTube? I am back and I've done pretty good swing trading these stocks. Took profits today and got in some new ones like Honeywell. Honeywell was hit very hard today because of weak guidance. And what really happened is this thing went from 115 down to 105. And you know, as I like to play the RSI, once I seen that there was an opportunity that it was oversold, I just directly started, buying the stock. So I bought some at 107.14, and I bought some more at 105. I really should have waited, but I bought some more at 105, and now as you see, pay attention to the top left hand of the corner, and this is what you call last minute buying or power hour. This is when you start to get those bids going, and once they get the bids going, you start to break through resistance. You start to, the stock can really spike, and it can become very profitable for you. And we're gonna talk about what happens after after people are done taking profits. So Honeywell, my price target on that is 109. So if we can get to 109, I might take some profits. Take some profits on some shares, and then let the rest of the shares ride up, because this is just the overreaction. Honestly, when you watch the RSI and things become oversold, they're just overreactions to the to the stock, and it came as a shock to everybody, because right now 107 is starting to hold in the after hours right now. So tomorrow, hopefully, this thing could bounce back up to 109, maybe even 110 probably. So next week we might start to see this stock recover. So when these stocks tend to fill the gap or recover back to where they are, that's when I take profits. So this is what happens when you think that the stock is about to break through resistance, and people, they just want to take their profits and go home for that Friday. So as you see, it broke the resistance, and as you see at the bottom of the screen, the RSI turned red, and red typically means that it's overbought, and it's a lot of momentum going into that. So what people want to do, since it's Friday, they want to take some profits. So they take profits. It's anytime a stock breaks through resistance, you're going to see these large candlesticks. They're not going to be small candlesticks, but they're going to be large candlesticks. So people were taking profits, and as you see, these two large candlesticks, it broke it back down and made 107 resistance instead of support. So this is what we start to see in all stocks. This is just not just Friday. This is every other day, or every day long as the stock market is open. People like to take profits just before the market closes. They want to take those profits, or they want to bid that stock up, or they feel like an investment firm feels like, okay, it's cheap, let's buy it now and sell it 6 months later. But this is what you start to see. You start to see these huge blocks being bought at the end of the market, which causes the stock to rise. And also, it became very bullish to me that the RSI for the 5-day chart was like 50, and the stock price was at 106.94, and that was pretty good. That lets me know that it has a lot of room to run past 107, and you have to pay attention to these things. Alright, and for natural gas, this was a pretty nice position that I had. I bought it in 39.54s, and rode it all the way up until 43. I was not expecting the stock to run all the way up like it did from 43 and ran all the way to 48. But it was good that I took profits. I wasn't greedy, because as you see, look at the RSI, let you know it's overbought. Now, when you look at the RSI and it's red, just because it's overbought doesn't mean it's going to go down. It can let you know that there's a momentum wave, and it's a combination of those things. It's a momentum wave, and it's overbought. But typically, dealing with ETFs that follow contracts, I suggest you watch the contract instead of watching the ETF. The contract can give you a better read on the stock rather than ETF. So what made me buy it is that before they gave out the inventories, oil and gas started to dip down and become oversold, which made me buy into this position at 39.54. And I bought some oil, UWTI. I played leverage UWTI at 27.33 and sold it at 27.77, I think so. And this was the most profitable position dealing with the commodity ETFs that I had. Also, I bought into Anadarko. I sold those at 64, buying in the low 63s. Also, I played coal as well. Coal stocks, bought low 19s, sold at sort of mid 20s. So you have to keep your eyes out for what's going on, what happens this time of the year, who's looking at stocks like this time of the year, and also pay attention to the hurricane, because the hurricane was one of the major factors in this move. I wasn't really sure when the inventories were going to come up for oil. That's why I kind of held my oil position. But this gas position, that's what made it spike all the way up to 48. When I sold from 43, it was kind of trying to dip back down. But they started talking about the hurricane, and that's when it took off, just like that. So make sure you're watching out for these natural disasters, not so that you can, be like, okay, when is a natural disaster coming? But make sure you're setting yourself up for, so it can be profitable to you. So that's all I have for you guys. Next week it'll be pretty profitable for me. Honeywell should be a really good, position I have. And as I'm watching CNBC right now, the stock's at 107.19. So once it gets some legs and starts running past 107.50, I should be pretty good and just sell on Monday. And that's it. Take care, guys.